What would you do if the one person you built your entire world around was secretly planning to burn it all to the ground? It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, the kind of stillness that only happens in the dead of night in downtown Chicago. I was staring at her phone, the screen glowing with a text that wasn't for me. It read, "Just one more day, baby. By tomorrow night, we'll be on a flight to Miami, and it'll be nothing but a bad memory." My heart didn't just break, it vaporized. The woman I loved, my wife Alina, was leaving me. But what she didn't know was that I was about to make sure she had nothing left to leave with. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Our story began like a fairy tale, right here in Chicago. We met at a little coffee shop on Clark Street, and I was gone. Alina was magnetic, with a laugh that could fill a room and eyes that made you feel like you were the only person in the world. We got married on a perfect June day at the Chicago Botanic Garden. Poured everything I had into our life, my savings, my energy, my soul. We bought a beautiful brownstone in Lincoln Park. I built a successful marketing firm from scratch, and I thought we were a team. I thought we were forever. The first crack appeared about 6 months ago. It was subtle. She started working late. Client dinners, she'd say, a little too quickly. Her phone, which used to be left casually on the kitchen counter, was now either clutched in her hand or face down. She became obsessed with the gym, spending hours there, but never seemed tired. Instead, she'd come home energized, almost buzzing with an electricity that wasn't meant for me. When I'd try to hug her, she'd stiffen, offering a cheek for a kiss instead of her lips. The coldness was like a slow creeping frost, starting at the edges of our life and working its way into the very heart of our home. One evening, I came home early from a business trip to surprise her. I found a credit card statement on the mail table. Usually, I never looked. I trusted her completely. But a name jumped out at me, the Langham, a 5-star hotel right here in the city. There was a charge for $200 at their bar, on a night she was supposedly at a yoga retreat with her friends in Michigan. My stomach twisted. I started digging. It wasn't hard. Like a fool, I'd set up all our accounts. Her phone backup, her cloud storage, it all synced to the family plan I paid for. I found the receipts first. Dinners for 2 at Alinea, jewelry from a boutique on Oak Street I'd never seen her wear. Then I found the photos. It's hidden in a deleted folder on the cloud. Her and him. His name was Julian, a slick real estate developer I'd met once at a charity gala. He had that smug, untouchable look about him. In the photos, they were draped all over each other, laughing in a hotel room that looked suspiciously like the Langham. Alina was wearing a diamond necklace I didn't buy her. The look in her eyes was the same one she used to give me. My world tilted on its axis. The air left my lungs. I sat on the floor of my home office, surrounded by the life I thought we'd built, and I just shattered. It wasn't just betrayal. It was a complete and utter erasure of our life together. The next few weeks were a living hell. I played the part of the loving husband while a storm of pure, cold rage gathered inside me. Alina became even more brazen. She'd talk about Julian, dropping his name into conversations as a friend, watching me for a reaction. Julian says the market in Miami is booming, she'd mentioned casually while scrolling through her phone, a faint smirk on her lips. They thought I was stupid. They thought I was blind. They treated me like an obstacle, a temporary inconvenience on their path to happiness. That was their first mistake. My grief turned into fuel. My pain sharpened into a weapon. I wasn't going to just let her walk away. I was going to dismantle the life she thought she was stealing. I contacted the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Marcus Thorne. I didn't go to his fancy office on Wacker Drive. We met in a quiet, forgotten diner in the South Loop. I laid everything out on the table. The photos, the receipts, the text messages I'd been secretly documenting. He listened, his face unreadable, and when I was done, he just nodded slowly. "She's filed a motion to dissolve the marriage," he said calmly, citing irreconcilable differences. "She's asking for half of everything, the house, the business, the savings." I just laughed, a bitter, empty sound. "She wants half?" I asked. "She's not getting a dime." The plan was simple and brutal. Alina had been funneling small amounts of money from our joint savings account into a private one of her own. She thought I hadn't noticed. But I had my own plan. It's the business I built, our home, our investments. Almost everything was tied to accounts under my name, established before we were married. The joint account was for our daily life, but it held a substantial amount, nearly $500,000. This was the cash she was planning to run with. The night before their planned flight to Miami, while she slept soundly in our bed, I made my move. I logged into our online banking. The few clicks, I initiated a wire transfer. I moved every single cent from our joint savings and checking accounts into a new secure trust account that her lawyers couldn't touch. I didn't just drain it. I emptied it to a perfect zero. The next morning, I woke up before her. I made coffee, just like I always did. She came downstairs, glowing, practically vibrating with excitement for the new life she was about to start. "Morning, sleepyhead," she chirped, kissing me on the cheek. The hypocrisy was breathtaking. She picked up her phone, her thumb hovering over her banking app. I watched her face. The bright, happy smile faltered. Confusion flickered in her eyes. It turned to panic. She tapped the screen again and again. "What the hell?" she whispered. "Where's the money? Where's all our money?" I took a slow sip of my coffee. "Our money?" I asked, my voice dangerously quiet. "You mean the money I earned? It's gone?" Her face went pale. "What did you do?" she shrieked. "That's my money too." Just then, the doorbell rang. She looked at the door, confused. I opened it to reveal two stern-looking movers and my lawyer, Marcus. "They're here to help you pack your personal belongings," I said, my voice void of all emotion. "As of this morning, this house is no longer your residence. You've been served." Marcus handed her a thick stack of legal documents. Her hands trembled as she took them. It was a restraining order, an eviction notice, and a divorce petition detailing every single act of her infidelity, complete with photographic evidence. She looked from the papers to me, her eyes wide with disbelief and horror. "You can't do this," she stammered. Her phone buzzed. A text from Julian. "Airport in 2 hours, baby. Can't wait." Her world was collapsing in real time. She tried to fight it, of course. In court, her lawyer argued that she was a victim, that I was a cruel, vindictive man. But Marcus was a master. He presented the evidence methodically: secret bank account, the documented lies, the plane tickets to Miami booked on her credit card. The judge wasn't impressed with her story. Because of the infidelity clause in our prenup document she had laughed at when we signed it, she was entitled to almost nothing. The house was mine. The business was mine. The savings were mine. She was ordered to pay her own legal fees, which after her account was frozen was impossible. Julian, her brave new man, was nowhere to be found. Once the lawsuit named him and detailed his involvement, his company's board of directors was not pleased. He ghosted her, blocked her number, disappeared from her life as quickly as he had entered it. She was left with nothing but the designer clothes on her back and a mountain of debt. The last I heard, she was living with her parents in a small town in Indiana, the same town she'd sworn she would never return to. Her social circle in Chicago had abandoned her. She was a pariah, sold the brownstone in Lincoln Park. Too many ghosts. I live in a high-rise now overlooking the lake. The view is clean, uncluttered. Sometimes late at night, I stand by the window and look out at the city lights, and I think about that night, staring at her phone screen. I didn't just want revenge. I wanted justice. I wanted her to feel the absolute crushing emptiness that she had left inside of me. I wanted her to know what it felt like to have your whole world taken from you in a single moment. But it doesn't feel like a victory. It just feels quiet. The end.